Hello and welcome to the Stateside Soccer Show. My name is Jordan. With me, as always, is Logan. How are you today, Logan?
I am doing well, Jordan. It's Tuesday, so we're moving through the week. That's always better than on Monday. We used to record these
Yeah.
on Monday, and it was kind of like, oh man, it's Monday. So it was kind of hard to get, But at least Tuesday, we're like, all right, tomorrow's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Once we get to Wednesday, Jordan, I start to feel a lot better about work. I'm like, all right, like I can get through this. Only 3 more days.
Really? It's hump day. That makes you feel better about it then?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is gonna sound really weird, and maybe there's some people out there that agree with me. The best 2 days of the week, Jordan, are Thursday, Friday, like even including Saturday. And
Oh,
the reason
no.
why is because Thursday leads into Friday, and like I know I have to work, but
I
like Thursday's like,
understand that,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And then we
And
get out
Friday
early,
leads into
right?
Saturday.
And we get out early on Fridays at Advent. Like
Okay.
3 o'clock is the checkout time on Fridays. So I'm done with work pretty early on Fridays. So it's like, it's magic. Fridays are great. I love Fridays. That's the best day of the week. And I don't think that
But
should go
over
down.
Saturday, you include
I
Thursday
like,
over Saturday?
yeah. And
Is it
it's
all
weird
about
because
that Big Brother eviction night
I love
on
Big Brother
Thursday
eviction night.
night?
Yes. I look forward to that. No, I don't know. I love Friday so much. I think because I like, Thursdays are usually pretty chill at work. And then
Mm.
Fridays, it's like, well, you know how working in an office is on Friday or like working for Fridays. Nobody's
Yeah,
around
I've
on Fridays. Nobody,
No,
it's like a
yeah,
ghost
that
town.
is a day I'm in office now, and nobody else is in office
Yeah.
except for a couple people.
Right.
So it's nice, easy parking. That's what the decision was when I went to 3 days in the office again. Is it Monday or is it Friday? And I talked it over with some workmates, and it's definitely
Mhm.
Friday because Monday. I mean, the Sunday scaries would be at an all-time high if you need to go into the office on Monday.
That's true.
But on Friday, while it does suck to go in, you can still get that Friday feeling when you clock out and you're driving home and you're like, I'm off tomorrow. And it's a great feeling.
That is true. It's very true. Speaking of, like, before we jump in, I did want to show you this because I didn't show you this in person. I got rid of one of them, but I got that, Jordan.
Oh, yeah, the Tony Meola
Yeah,
card.
Tony
Yeah.
Meola's
For the
autograph on
podcast
the
listeners,
30th anniversary for
MLS
MLS.
set.
If you're out there and you collect sports cards, like, and if you can swing the money to get the MLS packs, they're pretty cheap compared to everything else. And there's some great cards in there. Like, I
I have
got
a
some
couple,
solid cards.
not the 30th anniversary, but there was
Yeah.
a time where I was buying MLS packs consistently. They're down in my basement. I have some cards there. Um, Logan, there was some big news in the Midwest today. Did you know
Huge
this?
news. Yeah, Taylor Swift got engaged. Oh,
Yeah,
that's not what we're talking about?
I was referring to that actually, and just like how
Oh,
relationships hit a new level and continue, sometimes relationships end, and that is what's going on in St. Louis, as they've parted ways with their sporting director Lutz
what a solid
Pfannenstiel.
transition.
If I said that right, I probably did not. But he's gone. I actually missed this. This was yesterday, so it's not actually today. But they announced it on Monday. They had fired their manager earlier this year, right? So
Mhm.
they're now hitting like the full reset. But he was hired back in 2020. He's their first sporting director. He laid the foundation for their expansion team. They won the Western Conference in 2023, and that was the high, right? And since then, they have as soon as they won the Western Conference, that is the high in their inaugural season. The playoffs, they got bounced by Sporting Kansas City, a rival. And then they go ahead and didn't even make the playoffs in 2024. And they are looking like they're not going to make it in 2025. They're 14th in the Western Conference with 7 games remaining. And they are 14 points below the playoff line. They only have 21 points. So they would effectively have to do more than half of the points that they have on a season to get into the playoffs in just 7 games. Does not look likely at all. They only have 5 wins on the season, 16 losses, and 6 draws. You know, this is kind of a question we have, and I know this is a topic you wanted to talk about here because, you know, they fired Bradley Carnell, I guess last season.
Mhm.
You know, the next step here was to fire their they had also fired Melberg as well in May. So he only lasted 15 matches. But Bradley Carnell now doing very, very well at Philadelphia Union. I don't know. Is it just now that we look back at it, was year one just a fluke? You know, they're about to lose Roman Berkey as well. He's out of the contract at the end of this year. And they only have 2 designated players right now, Marcel Hartel and João Klaus. So they actually have space to bring in some more players. I guess that's why you can kind of make that reset. Maybe they don't believe in Lutz going into next season, so they decide, hey, this is it. But it's only been 3 seasons, and they had the highest of highs with winning the Western Conference in their expansion year, and then just 2 disaster years that end up kind of haunting them. What do they need to do to kind of rebound here, Logan?
Yeah, I mean, I think it obviously starts at the top, and I'm not sure that Lutz was. I mean, it's really strange because they started so well. I mean, to go on the win streak that they did to win that. I mean, they went. I think they said that it was like 9 or 10 games undefeated um, in their first inaugural season, and we had the guys from Ball Watching on, and we talked about just the excitement in St. Louis. And I mean, I would compare it to the same kind of fan base that you would get with SKC. And,
Mhm.
it's almost like they're a mirror image of one another right now, where they seem to be headed in the same direction, which is not a good direction or no direction at all. And I think that's the thing, right? And you and I can talk about this because I think it expands beyond St. Louis. I mean, St. Louis has some good players. I think Klaus, Logan, Hartel, they're all good players. Berkey, one of the top goalkeepers in this league when he's around and healthy. And I mean, they've got a solid core, Jordan, and it always confused me because I always thought they made some nice uh, choices when adding players in and around. You know, I think we were talking about that first season when Giacchini came in, and he was, a nice addition, U.S. men's national team, former, but like a solid bench piece because they had such great depth. And now you fast forward to we're talking about some really good players, but don't really seem to have a direction, don't really seem to be filling out the team, don't have the third DP spot filled in, don't really seem to have a direction. Klaus had moments with Bradley Carnell, and you and I talked about this after the Union game when St. Louis players went after Carnell on the
Mhm.
sideline, and something's weird. Like I don't know if it stems from ownership, right? Because that is one thing, Jordan. I think that we don't see. Maybe it's a good thing, but sometimes maybe it's a bad thing. Ownership isn't as transparent in MLS, so we don't really get a good sense of we only really get a sense of if they're willing to spend Ernst Tanner or not spend. And St. Louis seems willing. I just they don't put the right pieces together, and it's really strange because there's so many teams that have come in that have had successful blueprints. I mean, you look at teams like Nashville, right? Teams like eventually Cincinnati figured it out. And what they can point to is it starts with the head coach. It starts with the guy that knows what kind of system he wants to play. I think that's been the biggest thing with St. Louis. It seems like Carnell was not the right hire. It seems like Olaf was not the right hire. Like they're hiring people, Jordan, that are just not great fits. And I feel like there's just been this cloud of uncertainty around St. Louis, but it also exists in Austin. It exists in, places that like Miami, I guess, until Messi came in, expansion sides have really struggled when coming into league. And by that I mean like longevity. I mean, some of them had it's weird. Like Atlanta had good success when they first started. San Diego's having really nice success when they first started. It's like a first team, first year kind of boost. But once that starts to wear off, the magic starts to wear off. And now St. Louis is sitting there with what looks like it's going to be a retooling, rebuilding of sorts. They've just got a long way to go. And in a conference that typically is the stronger of the two, but this year hasn't really panned out.
So Matt Baker, who is a flyover footy host over on Twitter, was saying John Hackworth was seen watching St. Louis City's training from the side. Rumor has it he will be taking on interim roles with groundskeeping, scouting, social media on top of his technical director and interim City 2 manager, interim co-sporting directors roles. So
did you say social media?
Yeah, I think it's a joke. But here's the thing.
Okay.
They
did
kind of give Hackworth, he is technical director. He was interim manager last year, and he just took over, I think, co-sporting director as well. Like, he is interim of all of these things. And I know Hackworth. He was the Philadelphia Union coach. He was the assistant coach for a while. He was the assistant coach from 2010 to 2012. He was also a U.S. under-17 coach and assistant coach. He was Philadelphia's coach from 2012 to 2014. Here's his record then: 57 games, 20 wins, 23 losses, 14 draws, 35% win rate. When he's coaching at a lower level, like South Florida Bulls or United States U17s or Louisville City FC, he's in the 60% range, okay? St. Louis City 2, he was 60% range. He is also the St. Louis City 2 interim coach as well. Right now, he's got 4 games, 4 wins, so he's doing well at St. Louis City 2, I guess. 2024, though, with St. Louis City interim, 7 wins, 7 losses, 4 draws for 38% win chance. So it seems like when he's coaching at the MLS level, what we've seen, he's around 35 to 38% chance of win percentage. And when he's coaching at a lower level, he's in the 60% win percentage, which is good. He did win a USL Cup in 2018 with Louisville City. I just don't know. You know, he's not the interim manager right now for St. Louis, right? They do have an interim coach that is not him. But the fact that he was interim last year, the fact is that he's getting more roles with technical director and interim City 2 manager and interim co-sporting director. I don't know if I trust him to be in that position. Like I said, I know John Hackworth from when he was at the Union, and I just never really saw it with him that much. And there's a reason they went on to Jim Curtin, who had a really good run there. Now, of course, St. Louis City president Diego Gigiani says that he and John Hackworth will search for a permanent sporting director. So it's not like Hackworth is going to be there, doing that role all the time. But I just don't. It doesn't feel like there was a plan right now. And at this point, maybe it's to get the head start to find a sporting director. I just feel like they probably could have waited till the end of the season and then did a reset, especially with how long the postseason is. They could probably have still found a sporting director that would be able to come in and still get them ready for next year. But, I'm guessing, look, they don't really need a sporting director right now anyway, so I guess that's why Hackworth is a co-sporting director, is because they Like there's not going to be a lot of moves being made now. The summer window is closed. We're moving on. There's not much needing to be done there. But I do just worry for St. Louis. Now, I will kind of give a note here that says, hey, I remember when Cincinnati was the team that was going through general managers and coaches like it was nobody's business. And then they had that terrible blunder with I'm trying to remember Yapstam, I think it was.
Yeah,
and they
Mr. Clean.
showed the wrong bald guy. I mean, like, look, but now Cincy is totally a consistent challenger the last few years, so they can turn it around. I feel like maybe they should try to model themselves more off Philly and Cincinnati than whatever they were trying to do before. That's kind of where I stand with it. I'm not really sure what can be done. I just think that is such a good fan base. We've had the ball watching on a couple of times. They're very knowledgeable fan base. They have a great stadium. We're again veering into that territory like we were Cincinnati and some other expansion teams, where we're entering a market that has a really good stadium, really good hardcore fan base, but then start consistently underperforming. That starts driving away that fan base, right?
Yeah.
We also kind of saw that with Nashville for a period until they started course correcting as well. So I just don't want that to happen in St. Louis, which is consistently considered one of the best soccer markets in the nation. So hopefully they can turn around. Look, I mean, it's not like it's not like they went to go watch the baseball team, because they're not showing up either. So,
right. Yeah. They're just angry with all ownership.
Yeah. So it's not even like they're being drawn, and they don't have a football team right now.
They're really mad at the football team's ownership.
Oh, they are very mad.
Team away.
So I just worry about that. I just worry about where we're going with that. Because like you said, expansion teams lately, not
it's been
great.
A rough ride.
Not
great.
And like Austin has been struggling. They had a great, and it's always like these teams have like one great year, and then it's like, we're free falling now.
Right. Charlotte's kind of picked themselves up off the floor when they were starting to dive.
They had a great half season, and then they fell apart.
Right. So it's been like they're all the way up in fourth now, which I was shocked by. It's like blew my mind. But again,
rebounding.
Right. I think they were in a really weird space where, again, I think, but I also think that they're overperforming maybe what the expectations are. And I think the numbers kind of back it up. But you're right. Like it does seem like Jordan, Austin FC, like when they came into the league, we had Aaronon on. We've had multiple people on Moon Tower to talk about, the Austin fan base. And, we're not as active on X. I don't think as many people are anymore.
Twitter, never calling it that. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
They were touted as one of the top fan bases, but they've had nothing to really cheer for. So it's been,
hey, that's the pre-court special.
Right. It's just been like, but the bad thing is like, it does seem like he's willing to spend to prove people wrong. It's just his resources, he's just not spent well in. And I think that's a big thing too. I think with how new this league is, I think that maybe there are some people, Jordan, in ownership that are buying and they're investing, Jordan, in a money-making machine, but they're not investing in a club to make them better, if that makes sense. Like I'm not sure that they're soccer people, right? Like people that are buying clubs in the UK, those are soccer people. Like they know the game. They know, or they have somebody that knows what they're doing. I do feel like sometimes, like the fact that the Crafts bought a soccer club, I'm not sure that Robert Kraft was a big soccer fan before, but it just, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how our expansion teams continue to progress. I also had a question too, Jordan, because Montreal is also clearing house of ownership and front office, and they're starting to clean house too. That
There's a
happened
real
last week.
rumor that Montreal is going to move.
That's what
I had
yeah.
heard that from, I think, some account on Twitter or Reddit that said, "Hey, this is something that might happen. They might move this team."
I think
And
they moved to Vegas. That's my guess.
well, that would give the San Jose fans a little bit sigh of relief.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Although they might take them to
Not us.
Sacramento.
Okay.
Maybe they'll move to
Yeah.
Sacramento.
They'll play in a minor league stadium
Right.
over there.
Oklahoma City would be a great spot for a soccer club. I know that's kind of close to St. Louis and Kansas City, but like OKC, man, they love their basketball there. Just keep moving teams there. I'm tired of them. Like Vegas is going to have all major sports. We're at that point. So
But
MLS is
how
going to go there,
far?
but
I just wonder, like, when does the love affair with Vegas fall apart? Because as we see this year, tourism
transient.
is hugely down
Yeah,
in
it's a
Vegas.
transient
So,
community.
right. So their whole point is like, oh, maybe we don't get the locals, but we get all the visitors. Well, there's not a lot of visitors in Vegas this year and in this economy. So I do wonder, like, when they fall out, and then especially with all the sports betting issues that's been going on, which while you can now sports bet in almost every state, Vegas is still seen as a hub of that, and that's why they didn't have a team for a long time in any professional sport. I just wonder how long until they're like, you know what, maybe we move these teams back out of here. I don't know. Like, I just really wonder how a open air stadium for baseball is going to do in the Vegas heat. As a tourist destination.
That's a good point.
Same thing with a soccer team, unless they have a dome. And it's notoriously hard to get stuff to build in Vegas. So I am curious on how an MLS team would.
Well, all those historic landmarks, like the Bellagio.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe they could like convert a conference room in there into a indoor arena.
Yeah, I mean the NBA is going to go there too. Like they're already there for the summer league. So like you are. It is interesting to me, and I'm interested to see if the betting rules change for sports for athletes. Like I would not be shocked, Jordan, if players are allowed to bet on sports that are not their own.
I'm totally fine with that. Yeah. I am totally fine if it's not your sport.
You can go nuts. Like, yeah,
but we had just had 2 baseball players get dinged for specific pitches that they were throwing. Yeah. So I mean, that's a little crazy.
Right. And Shohei got away with betting on baseball, so that's pretty cool too. I'll get Jordan fired up.
So we have the Leagues Cup. Let's transition over to that, which again, Logan, 3 years in a row here, MLS winner of the Leagues Cup.
That's wild.
Miami beat Tigres 2-1. Orlando won in penalty kicks 6-5 over Toluca. Seattle beat Puebla on penalty kicks 4-3 after a 0-0 draw. And LA Galaxy, after a delay, they had a little bit of a weather delay or something. LA Galaxy beat Pachuca 2-1. And I texted you during that delay when it was 2-0 LA, and I said, we might have all MLS semifinals.
Yep.
And we did. It just took a little bit longer. And you were asleep anyway.
Yeah. No, I was dead to the world.
That was me after saying that day last week. I was like, I'm not staying up for these games. And then I find myself awake at that time, like, oh, I'm checking. I think I was folding laundry, watching the Seattle Puebla game, and then catching some of LA before the delay, because I believe I was either doing laundry late because it may have been that Landon was up late that day or whatever, but I ended up being able to watch some of it. But yeah, so Miami beats Tigres. Orlando beats Toluca. That sets up tomorrow night where we have Miami and Orlando has had Miami's number this season. Be curious to see how that goes. And then Seattle, LA, which is a classic rivalry. And again, LA Galaxy, who are near the bottom of the West, I believe physically bottom of the West right now. And they're in the semifinals of the Leagues Cup. Logan, What was your thought when you woke up on Thursday morning last week and see we have a full MLS semifinal, and for the third time in a row, we will have a MLS Leagues Cup winner?
I was wondering why Jordan was up at 1 a.m. on Thursday. That was my first thought.
Do you know how late I stayed up on Thursday night watching that damn walk comp on Paramount Plus?
You did not. You watched
Joy
that
and
whole
I
thing?
stayed up until like 2 a.m. watching it.
Dude. And that's a brutal comp to watch. Like,
They
I mean, I guess
lasted
if you're
an
doing
hour on
something.
that thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
But I mean, that's something you could scroll your phone and watch. But anyway, yeah, my first thought was, why are you texting me that late? But second of all, I sleep with my notifications off, so you can text me all you want. I was shocked because you and I very adamantly talked about how that there was no way that MLS would have all 4 teams in the semifinal. And here we sit, Jordan. Another MLS championship for the Leagues Cup. Does that make us better than Mexico? Probably not. But
yes, we don't care about CCC. We only care about Leagues Cup. I've
yeah,
said that on those
right.
podcasts a million
Yes.
times. This is the premier
Yeah,
competition.
it's Leagues Cup and then MLS Cup. Yeah.
Yes.
We talked about that last week as well, how much we
Yeah.
like Leagues Cup. But yeah, no, it's exciting because
And how not tired we are of Leagues Cup.
right.
We are big fans of it.
I ordered merch. It's gonna arrive here sometime in the future. But
Is that on
no,
Whatnot as well, or is
right?
that
No, yeah, it actually was, because it was those bulk sweatshirts because nobody wanted them, so they just sent them to the wholesalers. But yeah, no, I'm shocked. I love that, Jordan. We get 2 rivalries. I guess you could call them rivalries.
yeah, they are.
That's kind of cool. Like, would it be cooler if Orlando City is obviously in the final? Yeah, because I think this is their real only shot at winning some hardware this year. So I think if you're an Orlando fan, or if you're a Galaxy fan, maybe Seattle too, like this legit feels like your chance to grab some hardware before the season.
Well, for Seattle,
ends.
I think for all these teams except for Miami,
Yeah,
it is we have not won this competition before.
Yeah.
Let's win it. Seattle definitely, like, they've won CCC. This would be another one that they can be like, hey, that goes in the hardware
Trophy
cabinet,
case, baby. Yeah,
trophy case, and it's another comp we've won. Thank you. LA Galaxy, with just how historic they are, you're like, yeah, and having, like, if they look back at the end of the season after playing so terribly due to injury and other issues throughout the year, just a letdown after winning the title, that would be a pretty big trophy for them. And then Orlando would be their second thing that they've won as an MLS club, right?
in recent, yeah.
And you would see, like, okay, Open Cup, Leagues Cup. So you're like, all right, we're kind of climbing the ladder of the trophies. Maybe we can get that MLS Cup this year or next year. Miami, it's like, oh yeah, we would love to win 2 out of 3 of these things, because it would be their second one out of the 3 years that we've done Leagues Cup. So I'm sure they're like, hey, that would be pretty great to have too. It just probably means a little less to them because they have won it before than these other teams that are like, oh, that's something brand new that we don't have yet. Because who won it last year? I don't remember Miami winning it over Nashville. The Crew won it last year. That's right. Thankfully I did not have to look that up. That came to me eventually. But yeah, I mean, that's got to be really cool. Now, as an Orlando fan, Logan, are you like, give me the Galaxy, or is it if you get past Miami, or is it almost kind of like, ooh, that might be cursed because they're so bad in the league and they might just win this cup and I want to face Seattle? Like, what's the thought process?
I think you would want to play the Galaxy because of how much they've struggled this year. But honestly, the matchup that's more intriguing for me would be the Sounders. Beat the best to beat the best, kind of thing. So you would have gone through Miami and then you go through Seattle. I think it would be fun to play Seattle. I can't remember. Yeah, we would go to Seattle, I imagine, because this isn't played on neutral site, right? I think this is played at the higher seed, so this would be, I think, in Seattle.
You're right. I think Seattle's the number 1 seed for MLS in
Yeah,
this comp. Are they? They're the
they're
13th
13th seed,
overall. All right, so
and then
Miami's number
Orlando's
2. Yeah, yeah,
16th.
yeah. So
So
you're right.
like I think Orlando would go out there, and it's always fun. Like I think playing in Seattle is just kind of cool because like East Coast, West Coast, we don't get to see a whole lot of each other. It's always cool when we get to go out to Lumen and play. It's a different environment. I always like that too. Like when I'm playing video games, I like to go in environments that I'm not usually in. It's always more fun. But I think the Sounders would be a bigger challenge. I think Orlando City is playing a lot better, and I think have a good chance. And I think you and I talked about this, that outside of Miami and Messi being healthy, I think Orlando City actually does have the best chance to win it. So this would be, like you said, I think you collect the hardware here. I don't think they'll win MLS Cup. They're out of Supporter Shield. Like this is probably Orlando City's best chance that they'll have this year. And I think you got to capitalize on that, which I think they show you just how serious they're taking this, because they rotated their whole squad on and got killed by Nashville.
He got humiliated.
So, so you know what they are, what their importance of this cup is, and it's pretty high.
Yeah, the answer is definitely you want to face LA Galaxy. Look, I mean, I had to phrase it a certain way because, like Galaxy surprisingly are going through it. But here's the thing, right? LA Galaxy have given up 55 goals this year and only scored 32. It's a negative 23 goal differential. They average less than 1 point per match. Compared to Seattle, while I know this is Leagues Cup and not MLS, just think of it though. Seattle, 48 goals, 38 given up. That's a 10 goal differential positive and 1.63 points per match. I mean, they're just, and they're hitting their groove too. I mean, Musovski hit a hat trick, his first ever. And apparently that's a DoorDash special. I got this weird. Did you get it too? Like this, I got like a.
I gotta look now.
I think MLS posted it where I got something from DoorDash. It was like, Musovski has hit a hat trick. This is a DoorDash special. I was like, what?
I gotta look now. I'm interested.
Yeah, because I was kind of confused. I didn't click it. I was like, is this specifically because Musovski did this, or is it because it's a hat trick? I was kind of confused. I assume it's because it's a hat trick.
I don't see mine on there. Damn.
Because it is his first ever hat trick. So I was like, what a wild deal this would be. I mean, like they used to do
it's like when you go to
like
those
at Papa
games.
John's, they used to do this thing where if Gunnar Henderson hit a home run, it was you'd get like 50% off Papa John's or something. But
I was gonna say it's like the missed free throw. Have you ever seen? There's one in the NBA which was like
with Chick-fil-A, if they miss
Chick-fil-A.
it, you get nuggets. Yeah.
And Boban, he he missed one, and then they were like, miss it, and they were like, if he misses this is a Chick-fil-A. And then he looks at the crowd, and he's on the away floor. They're losing by like, it's a game that's close enough to where they could have got back into it. And he goes, yeah, you want me to miss it? And he misses it on purpose.
I saw that. Yeah,
that's
good.
So funny.
Okay, here it is. Danny Musovski's hat trick equals discount on DoorDash. Use promo code HATTRICK3 to get $10 off your $35 plus DoorDash order. That includes groceries, alcohol, or convenience items.
Why didn't you send that to me? I could have ordered
you
some
can't
DoorDash.
even use it on food. It says grocery, alcohol, or convenience items for the next 48 hours.
I could have got some Advil from when I had to watch Orlando City play.
Oh boy. There you go. I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess that's every hat trick DoorDash does it. Or again, I don't know. Or it's just because it was Danny Musovski and they're like, he'll never hit
Danny's got a partnership with DoorDash. Yeah. It's like, God. No, like I always did wonder that. I always like, if there was a company that was like, you know what? Fine. We'll give you 50% off if Danny Musovski scores a hat trick. And they're like, no, that's not good.
They're like, he's never done that in his career. Then he does. Oh my God.
Or like the company
Seattle
that like gives away the car at halftime. They're like, nobody's ever nobody's ever hit the half court shot. And then they're like, oh no.
And then they do, yeah. And then they like, what didn't they do that in the NBA or something
Where
this
they
year where
took the
they took it
prize away?
away? It was like a
Yes.
PlayStation and they took it
Yeah.
away?
They were like, "Oh, yeah, we didn't actually
They
think
had to end up
somebody."
making good on it because it was bad press,
Yeah.
obviously. Seattle surging up the West Coast, Western Conference West Coast. They're in fourth place, 44 points. LAFC below them with 41. They had a huge victory this week in MLS. They're now playing for a semifinal tomorrow night against LA Galaxy in the Leagues Cup. They're that team that, just like last year, started off slow, and they're like the little engine that could, and they are now look, they're only 5 points away from Vancouver, who's really struggled lately. We'll get to Vancouver in a second because Thomas Mueller got his first goal controversially.
Yeah. Son got his first goal.
And Son got his first goal for LAFC. Hit a really great goal. Really great free kick.
Somebody goes, "I didn't know they had that in the bag." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, Son seems to be one that would have that in the bag, but I guess I
Yeah.
don't watch enough Son to know."
I don't think he was usually the free
Was it
kick
Harry
taker
Kane?
at Tottenham. Yeah, I think Kane was until he left.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's probably part of why we don't see it that much. But I mean, look, they're in fifth place with 41 points. They're gonna be in it, right? They're gonna be in it. There's no way they're gonna drop out of this. So
Yeah.
they'll be there at the end. Especially they have 25 games played compared to everybody else having 28 or 27. Yeah. So they got some ground to make up.
The West is getting real interesting, though.
Yeah, let's talk about Vancouver here because Thomas Mueller gets to score his first goal due to a penalty. Very, very soft penalty. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, Logan? Was this a setup by the league to get Mueller his first goal?
I don't know about a setup, but definitely not good officiating. Like, who was it? I think it was Dax that was like, "All right, that was," or what did he call it? He was like, "That was," or I think he said, "I wouldn't have called it a penalty." I like when they do that, where they're like, "I wouldn't have done that," but yeah, Jordan,
it's like the most kind way to say you disagree.
Yeah, it was.
I wouldn't call it.
It was a former player talking nice about the official that he probably liked at some point. But yeah, no, I think. No, not a ploy by the league, but sure not a good call. I didn't really agree with it, but kind of soft. But hey, if it gets Thomas Mueller going, then I'm all for it. I'm ready.
I've seen some people say that by the rule it is a penalty. It's you barely see any contact.
Right.
This is what. Look, the official didn't call it originally. They get called over to the VAR booth to look at it. And for some reason on that view, he agreed with the VAR ref and gives it. The other downside to it is that apparently this is a thing when it comes to asking the refs in their pool report about stuff like this. You have to submit it 10 minutes before the match is done. So you can't even ask them about these last minute decisions. Here's the thing. There is no accountability on the refs end or the VAR refs end when it comes to making calls like this because they do not really have to ever answer questions about it.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime a coach complains directly about a ref like this or calls out a ref like this, they usually some sort of fine instead of maybe addressing the issue at hand. For me, this is not a penalty. It almost looks like he kicks himself. There's not much there for me to say this is a penalty, but that's what it was. Thomas Mueller, of course, gets the goal here. No, I did see some people saying this conspiracy because of it being they wanted that highlight. There's no way they would have waited a week or two to have that Thomas Mueller highlight. So they made the call. And I'm like, get a grip.
I was gonna say that takes a lot of effort by everybody involved in that. Like that's how I always break those down. That like it would take.
And why would they wait until the last minute?
Right.
Why not
early on?
Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, San Diego, 53 points. They're actually the first team to clinch a playoff spot, Logan. And that is because while the Union have one more point than them, the West is just so much worse when it comes to the bottom teams that they're able to lock up a playoff spot. While the Union are only 9 points ahead of Columbus, San Diego is almost 20 points higher than Colorado. So that's the difference we're seeing between the East and the West this year. So San Diego locks up a playoff spot. They're hunting for a supporter shield. The Union are hunting for a supporter shield. Cincinnati's still in it. Nashville's still in it. Minnesota's still in it. And technically Vancouver is still in it. Is this the best supporter shield race we've had? I don't know if I would say ever, but definitely since we've started the podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say usually it's what, like a 2-pony team at this point, and usually by this point in the season, that team is like a lot would have to happen.
Yep.
I mean, we've never had it to where it's. You're right. Like this is easily the best we've ever had it as far as Supporters Shield is concerned. Because, I mean, up until this weekend, I mean, I would even say teams like Orlando, teams like Charlotte had a chance to sneak in, and mathematically they do, but like
mathematically they still do. Yeah.
Right. It did. It felt like they were, the crew as well. Like they feel like they're still within striking distance. Like that's wild. Like we're, technically 10 teams that could still, I feel, but again, I think this weekend kind of eliminated some of them, but you're talking about 5 points separate the first and the sixth place team plus Miami, who's got 3 games in hand, and Vancouver, who's got 1 game in hand, who, if they win their game in hand, that's 52. So they're in the mid. Like it's going to come down to the last day. I'm calling it. Like it's going to come down to the last day of what could happen. So
here's what is kind of scary. Philly is so far and away the best team when you look at goals against.
Yeah.
26 goals they've given up in 28 games. That is.
Blake's not even healthy.
That's what? Less than 1 goal a game.
Yeah.
That they are giving up. Like theoretically, yes, Philly, San Diego, Cincinnati, Nashville, Minnesota, Vancouver are in this. I think that's where I would kind of cut it off at right now. But the Union, they have to capitalize on this, man, to get their second supporter shield. This one would be so much more impressive than 2020's as well. After all the vitriol with the fan base after firing Jim Curtin, they go get Bradley Carnell. Vibes were at a all-time low. You know how the vibes were, Logan? It was kind of like if there was a microphone giving a glare in Citi Field and they had to pause the game. That's how bad the vibes were in Philly going into this, all right?
Did they not like the shine off of that microphone? That's weird.
No, they did not. And and immediately give up 10 runs. Like, that's what the vibes were kind of like
baby.
In the Philadelphia Union stratosphere.
Philly's going through it.
Because I'm in it. I'm in there.
The Philly realm. Good luck in there, because I know it from the other side. The baseball side's not so nice.
I know what that vibes were like. And even my vibes were down for this season.
Oh yeah, you hated the Bradley Carnell. I wouldn't say
I did. I probably ripped them a new one on the podcast.
You did not like that. I remember the distinctly.
But now they have a chance to win a supporter shield in a full-length season, unlike 2020, where they didn't have to face the Revs 5 times or whatever it was. So this is a more standard supporter shield race for the Union than they are usually in. And they're 1-point leaders against an expansion team. Yes, Cincinnati is also right behind them with former Philadelphia assistant coach and former Philadelphia assistant GMs, right? Like they are very, very close here to the table. But when you see the goals against for Philadelphia, that gives me more confidence that they're going to see this through. You can kind of play devil advocate, though, and be like, well, they have 4 less goals than San Diego, so maybe Philly might end up with more 0-0 draws. There's only 1 more draw for Philly right now than San Diego. They have the same amount of wins. San Diego has 1 more loss, which is what that what that point difference is. Philly has a draw from that instead of a loss. But Philly's also very good at home. The bad side is I don't think they have very many home games left from what I was looking at the schedules. So that might open up some possibilities. But a very exciting supporter shield race here at the end of the season. I would say probably the best one because, I mean, theoretically, mathematically, Charlotte and Orlando are still in it. So would Miami with how many games they have played. So that would be 9 or 10 teams that are theoretically in this race right now. I would probably cap it off at Vancouver. But who knows? Who knows where it goes? But it's so exciting to see because, like you said, it's usually like a 2-team race, 3-team race.
Yeah.
The fact that we have like 6 to 7 teams that can realistically still win the supporter shield is very exciting.
And I think the last couple of Jordan, correct me, I think the last 3 seasons that I've covered the league, the 3 teams at the top were like historic in the way they were running at the supporter shield. Like
it was.
LAFC,
I don't think this one will be historic point wise,
right.
But yeah, last year
Miami
was
and
historic.
LAFC. Yeah. Like both of them. I even feel like there was a year. Well, I can't remember who won the other supporter shield. Cincinnati.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think it was through.
MLS, let me see. 2024 supporter shield was Miami. They finished with 74 points, which was a record breaking.
I think LAFC was 72 the year before that.
2023 was FC Cincinnati supporter shield. They finished with hold on. They finished with 69. I don't think that was a record. Yeah, that was the real record. Is
that is the 69. Record we all care about.
That's what we care about. 2022 was LAFC.
Mm-hmm.
They finished with, what did they finish with? They finished with 67.
Really? Why do I feel like 72 is the record that
I think 72 was Toronto. Toronto had a record.
Maybe it was.
I don't know when that was.
And then the Union was the year before that.
And 2021 was the Revs.
Oh, that's right.
Winning it.
That's right. I was like, we're missing somebody was like, we're definitely missing
73 points. That was the historic one. That's what you're talking
about. Yeah. I remember that.
Well, here's the thing. Funny. Did you see what Caleb Porter was saying?
That he wished he was back with Columbus? No, I didn't see what he said.
I saw the quote going around that he said the 2021 Revs were not that great.
Dude, we were talking about them like they were historic. I mean, they were.
But... Yeah. So here, Caleb Porter said in a weekend press conference that the 2020 Revs were not that good.
Heat.
That's from... I mean... They were historic at the time, so I don't really understand why you would say that, but okay.
He kind of reminds me of like somebody like Joe Girardi who kind of stepped into different roles that he had really good players and he's lucky he did.
Stepped into shit.
Well, that's
running his mouth.
Yeah, that
Which
too.
is definitely what Porter does.
Yeah, but like they're very similar, aren't they? Like Joe Girardi used to do that stuff all the time, where he'd be like, "You realize that." Well, he's talking bad about his former employee, so who else would want to hire him going forward? And then, like, he only was successful because the players that he had. Like,
yeah,
he's not been very successful with the Revs. So,
I'll tell you, the Revs in 2021 were a lot better than the Revs today.
Yes.
I mean, talk about stepping in shit.
Was that Bruce's team?
Yeah, that was Bruce Arena's team. They have 31 points right now. They're in 11th place. -3 goal differential. I don't know if I would ever talk smack about my
that the
fan
year-
base's team that broke a record at that point. Like, that seems kind of silly.
That wasn't Crew's year. Crew was 2020.
Crew. You mean that they won it all? That
Yeah.
they won the thing? Oh, hold on.
When they were underdogs, the Crew. That wasn't 2021. I don't believe
It was NYCFC.
Oh, that's right. But the Crew was good that year, I think. I don't remember. Like, I feel like
I'm checking.
yeah.
They finished 9th.
Oh. So they were better than the Crew. Wonder what was Caleb watching? Is he sure he's watching the right team? Was he not watching like the 1776 Revolution?
Hey, we won that one too. What are you talking about?
But we weren't that great. I mean, we were good enough to beat England, but
yeah.
I just picture Caleb Porter just like he just seems angry. Like even when they hired him, he just didn't see. He's one of the worst interviews. Like listening to him talk, like he just sounds so sour about everything. Very condescending. Bill Belichick.
He does. My dogs are losing their mind. Hold on.
That's fine. Well, they don't like Caleb Porter either, so I get that. But I do. I just feel like I don't like the way the Crew have gone, the direction they've got. Like Bruce Arena's kind of left them a mess. I don't know. I wouldn't hire Caleb Porter. There's a lot of people I wouldn't hire in MLS, but teams continue to do so. Chris Armas is one of those people.
All right, let's talk about the U.S. men's national team real quick to kind of end it off
Are you sure
here.
you want to do that?
They released the roster today. Goalkeepers, we have Roman Celentano from FC Cincinnati, Matt Freese from NYCFC, and Jonathan Klinsmann from Cesena, former Galaxy goalkeeper. Defenders, Max Arfsten from Columbus, Nokai Banks from FC Augsburg, Tristan Blackman from the Whitecaps, Sergino Dest from PSV Eindhoven, Alex Freeman from Orlando City, Nathan Harriel from Philadelphia, Tim Ream from Charlotte, and Chris Richards from Crystal Palace. Midfielders, we have Tyler Adams in Bournemouth, Sebastian Berhalter from the Whitecaps, Luca De La Torre from San Diego FC, Diego Luna from RSL, Jack McGlynn from Houston Dynamo, Sean Zawadski, from Columbus Crew, Damian Downs from Southampton, Christian Pulisic from AC Milan, Josh Sargent from Norwich City, Tim Weah from Marseille, and Alex Zendejas from Club America. Found this quote interesting from Pochettino, who said, "We need to give MLS the value because I think competing there, I think players can show that they can perform in the national team. I think it's not necessary to move from MLS to Europe because sometimes MLS, under my assessment, maybe is more competitive than some leagues in Europe." Wow, strong words from Pochettino. Could this also be why maybe we have had Paxten Aaronson return to MLS here?
It'll be interesting. I mean, people don't think that he has, but I do starting to think Pochettino's either axe grinding or he is drawing a line in the sand of, and maybe that's what, I'm starting to think, Jordan, that this was the conversation that they had with Mauricio when he stepped in, that they needed to get the players back in control. And I will say it's a very player friendly world that we're in now. Like everybody appeased the player, but I do feel like that there is a start of accountability coming back for a lot of these guys. I found the comments interesting that he made about Christian Pulisic. When he was asked about it, he said, we're past it, meaning that there was definitely a problem, right? Like we had kind of speculated, and there were quotes that Mauricio
He didn't talk
wasn't
to
happy.
him though. He just said,
Yeah.
"We're past it."
Yeah, he's just like, we're past it. I'm like, okay, so that means there was definitely a problem because he kind of went around the subject when asked about it before. He was kind of like, yeah, I mean, we've had those discussions, but like now he's like, yeah, no, there's a problem. Weston McKennie wasn't called in, Jordan, and that's very interesting because he is in the same boat that Timothy Weah is in. Timothy Weah is back with the squad. Weston McKennie's not playing with Juventus. He's had a hard time staying on the pitch because he's just not been good enough. And Jordan, you and I talked about his struggles when in the World Cup and then also after the World Cup. He was one of the more underwhelming players, I thought. Gio Reyna has switched teams, so he wasn't called in. They think that's more due to the fact that he's just trying to stay healthy and on a team that's, playing consistently on a team. Matt Turner was not called in, which got a lot of head scratches. A lot of young guys were called in. Arfston, Alex Freeman, they got called in. Nathan Harriels got called. Like, I think Pochettino's doing something and I think it's odd for U.S. fans because Berhalter seems so stuck in his ways about calling the same people in and in and in and in, and then it just became a problem. I think Maurizio is just trying to find out like what works, and I think what worked and what we saw in the Gold Cup was that Maurizio likes players who are going to go out there and give it their all, and he's got a roster here that I think are young, exciting players that I really do think will feature at some point for the U.S. men's national team going forward. And I think he's put a lot of stock in that. So it'll be interesting to see how these returning players like Pulisic and Weah, Dest, and all of them get back into the fold with Tyler Adams. Anthony Robinson he picked up an injury and is recovering. Balogun, he's out hurt. So again, you're into the beginning of the Premier League, so the roster is going to look a little different. You're in the beginning of a lot of European leagues, so I think that there are some teams that are kind of like, hey, can he not go to camp? Like they're just friendlies, and I think unfortunately, Jordan, what I think we're going to run into with the U.S. men's national team is we don't really have any competitions left until World Cup, obviously. So I do think that some teams might approach the U.S. and go, hey, like they're just friendlies. Like, why do you need them?
4 windows left before the
Yeah, that's
2026
wild.
World Cup. Hercules Gomez says you should typically have a locked-in 11 by now. And he says the worrying part is that Pochettino is showing signs of not knowing what that 11 looks like.
It's not his problem though. Like it's just this is the hand he's been dealt. I do
the
feel.
player pool. Yeah, I do worry a little bit about have we overrated Pochettino after seeing some of the results and stuff. But look, this is unfortunately we're talking about the hand he was dealt. This is the hand we were dealt.
Yeah.
We have a manager that people wanted. They are still trying to say that that there is a MLS quota. Look, Pochettino and stuff would not stand for that. He probably wouldn't have taken the job if he had a certain quota of players he had to select. It's just that he's not making the decisions that you, the fan, would want because maybe you want more Euro players. That's really what it's coming down to. He is watching some of these players here and seeing that they can fit into here. Will it work? That's the question. That's what we're not going to find out until less than a year from now when the U.S. kicks off the World Cup and we're left dealing with the fallout of 2026, which I'm kind of dreading right now because we've talked about it for so long of how this is the next step and stuff, and it feels like we might let that slip by us here. And it's just really hard to think about the fact that we may not have a good run next year. But hey, look, maybe these players get it together. Maybe what I would love to see is him stop messing with it, and maybe like the next window is the locked in team for the World Cup. Because I don't think this roster is it. So maybe hopefully the next roster is the for sure locked in. This is what doing. There's a few players that maybe I'll change in and out, but get the main core there. Get them knowing your game, your style, and let's try to make a run in 2026. That's all I can really say. But yeah, that's anything else here. I didn't read the schedule yet. I guess I could do that.
No, I think that's it.
All right, tomorrow, August 27th, probably the day you're listening to this. Miami and Orlando at 8:30 in the Leagues Cup semifinals. 10:45 LA Galaxy versus Seattle. Those are all on Apple TV Plus and MLS Season Pass. Then Saturday, a big one in the Supporter Shield race. Cincinnati and Philadelphia going up against it at 7:30. Then also New England and Charlotte, NYCFC and DC, Red Bulls versus Columbus, Toronto versus Montreal. Then at 8:30, Austin versus San Jose, St. Louis, Houston, SKC versus Colorado, Minnesota, Portland, and Nashville, Atlanta. That's right. On Saturday, only 2 time windows, 7:30 and 8:30. Then on Sunday, we will have a 10:45 p.m. match of LAFC versus San Diego, as well as earlier in the day, the third place Leagues Cup match and the final. I assume those will be probably like 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and then the 10:45. That's kind of what my suspicion would be. And it's going to be next episode. We're going to be having crowned a new Leagues Cup winner. Another MLS club winning it. Our final predictions, Logan, right now, who is going to win Leagues Cup 2025?
I think the Sounders beat Orlando City.
I will say Sounders as well. That's actually where I was going. And you know what? If it's Sounders versus Orlando, if they both wear their primary kits, it is an all-time kit matchup of green versus red, blue, purple. Please.
Wow. Yep.
I really had all the colors there. Red and blue together make purple. That's what my mind was thinking. But it would be green versus purple.
Yeah, it would be so
That would be a really cool final, man.
Oh, it would be so good.
Yeah. Have you seen the third kit of the Sounders? They were wearing it this weekend. It looks really cool.
I did see it. Yes, I did see it. I really anything the Sounders do, and then they a lot of times will go back to the concept of their original.
Yeah.
I like those a lot.
I like the way the Orca. I like the Orca.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing for me is like I get some of the modernization of logos. I don't understand the circles thing. Like you can modernize without going boring.
Yeah.
The Sounders still have a good looking logo, I think, because of the Space Needle. But I love the Orca so much.
So you're not a fan of the Cracker Barrel
You mean the barrel? Is that what it's called now? It's just called the barrel.
Yeah. I saw people say they took the cracker out.
You know what? They need to keep the cracker in. They deserve that. Those crackers deserve to be called that. Sorry if you're white out there and you're listening to this, but we deserve it at this point. You know how much we've called other, not us particularly.
No, not us.
Our race.
Stop taking.
No, it's time we get that too. We should be called crackers.
What was I gonna say real quick? Oh, we'll have to do our kit ranking still. I'm thinking
it actually worked out because they released
because they did the third kit, so they're doing some next year. Supposedly the Union is getting a throwback kit. I don't know what it's gonna be.
So good though.
I would assume maybe just the original.
Yes.
Which I'll really like if that's what we get as the third kit. But
yeah, Orlando City already did theirs. Like they already spoiled it. They already went back to the 3-headed lion that looked like Fluffy from Hagrid's from Harry Potter.
That was a nice one though.
I love that kit. I still love that kit more than anything.
But this will be like a third kit. It kind of like how Seattle had theirs. I think yours was a away kit or something.
Yeah, whose kit's ugly and who I was excited for the yellow and purple match, but Nashville wore their ugly white and light blue thing. And it was like really confusing. It's really disorienting when teams wear colors that were never traditionally theirs. Like a light blue for Nashville and white.
It's very soccer though. Like that's not something we usually see a lot in baseball or football because they're brand. But like overseas.
That's true.
Right? Like
lime green for city.
they'll
Yeah.
wear a random one just to stand out against the other color or something. But yeah, I'm a fan of using your branding
Me too.
colors. That is what I'm a fan of. So
like you can make things design wise. That's the thing I wish they would go. And I get like it's probably cost effective and efficient to do what they do, the templates. But I hate that so much. Like I have never been a fan of template kits because everything looks the same. They're just different colors. Oh, Jordan, you know what was interesting? Sorry, last thing. I am fat now and I'm selling some of my I have a Kevin De Bruyne shirt that would never fit me again. And it I'm not kidding. Like I think I got taller because like larges now on me don't go very far down my I hate that. Like when I sit down and the shirt goes up, I hate that. So like I've been like extra large. I probably should have been buying but
that's
I was skinny.
I fit into extra large.
Yeah, me too.
But when I'm around the house lounging around, I wear 2X. This is a 2X because I just like the flowing.
Yes,
the
me too.
flowingness of. I do not like short shirts. I do not like stuff. I don't like it really like resting on my body or anything.
Right.
I like the flowy, comfortable shirt. So like when I'm chilling around the house, it's a 2X shirt and shorts because I'm chill.
Yeah.
If I go in public, it's usually an XL shirt that actually fits me. I kind of look comical wearing these very oversized.
That's fine
shirts.
though. That's fine. Nighty shirts. But anyway,
yeah.
Jordan, I had a kit and this guy messages me on eBay because he's like, I'd love to buy it. I collect kits and I don't have a De Bruyne. And it's the white. I think it's in here.
The paisley?
Yes, the paisley. And it has De Bruyne's name on the back. And he's like, I don't have one Kevin De Bruyne's kit in cities, like in a city kit. And I definitely don't have that white paisley thing. I was like, yeah, most people don't. But he was like, can you take a picture of the tag on the inside? So I took a picture, like what they call that. And he goes, no, not that one. The one on the inside. And I was like, what are you talking about? There's not one on the inside, but there is. And I was like, oh yeah, the one I usually cut off because it's really annoying. But I went to look at it and I was like, no, I didn't cut this one off. Like this one had not been cut. This one was cut off perfect. Like I did not cut this off.
Really?
Because like that looks weird. I wouldn't have cut it like that. Come to find out, Jordan, I have multiple kits that I bought from the Disney Spring store. This is scandalous.
And they cut it off.
They cut it off because they're not real kits.
Oh, okay.
They're not officially licensed kits.
They're like the DH gate.
Yes, they're basically a fancier. I was like, you got it. So I am going in there to figure out if that's true. I'm going to the Pele store. It's a different name now, so they might have changed because I haven't bought a kit since it's changed over. But the last place that owned that store, they were selling knockoff kits. They were not official kits because the guy goes, I collect kits. Puma, even in the US, Puma, Nike, and them have the inner tag on it that is marked. And you can cut them off. He goes, but that's not what that tag would look like. I was like, that's crazy. So they sold me a fake kit. He goes, yes. He goes, take a picture of the license thing. I'll check it. And sure enough, he went and checked. And he goes, yeah, it's fine. You should sell it because it like people will buy that. They won't like if they're not collecting, they're not going to know. Then he goes, plus I thought it was weird that it was $25 because usually like an official kit like that, I usually have to pay a little bit more. I was like, yeah, I was just trying to get rid of it. But he was like, yeah, like just so you know that if you do ever buy kits, you can tell. I was like, I don't buy the authentic ones anyway, but like this one was it's fake. Right. It's like that's crazy. Scandal.
Well, if that is not true, you did not hear it from this podcast,
right?
And we are in no way liable of that's alleged. It's allegedly.
It's a company that's gone anyway, so I think we should be fine. We're not going to get sued. It's no longer there. So, but be careful out there if you're buying your kits. Obviously, you're buying from the teams; they're real. So,
okay. At Stateside Show on all of our social medias, you can follow us there. But that's it. Have a great rest of your day. We will catch you next time when we crown and talk about a new winner. Maybe Miami can still win this thing and then it won't be a new winner, but of Leagues Cup, the third straight MLS winner of this competition. Like I said last year, they should call it League Cup. That's it. Have a great rest of your day. We'll catch you next time.